Hi, my name is Mia Walters. I'm a sophomore nursing student here at Bloomsburg University. My topic is the destruction of our oceans. I chose this topic because this is a very serious problem that isn't discussed much with all the other problems going on in the world. It is very commonly looked past, and I think it's time that it's discussed. I'm going to start off with some basic ocean facts. The first being that the ocean actually takes up almost 72% of the entire Earth's surface. Along with that, more than 97% of the Earth's water is in the oceans. Next is that 60% of the world's coral reefs are threatened, and currently 27% of the coral reefs worldwide have disappeared. One interesting fact is that fish actually supply the greatest percentage of the world's protein consumed by humans. And lastly, which I think is the most important fact, is that the ocean's phytoplankton produces 75% of the oxygen we breathe on land. So without the ocean, we wouldn't be alive. Here are just a few of the problems contributing to the destruction of our oceans. They include pollution, oil, harmful fishing practices, acidification, and lack of protection. First, we will talk about pollution. Over 80% of the marine pollution comes from land-based activities. In 1 year, 3 times as much garbage is dumped into the ocean as weight of fish caught. Plastic is often mistaken for food by marine animals. It not only pollutes the oceans, but the beaches as well, which along with oil spills, can cause beaches to close. Pollution causes more than 250 million people worldwide to contract gastroenteritis, an upper respiratory disease due to polluted seas. The next topic is oil. Oil spills are actually only responsible for about 12% of the oil in the oceans. 36% comes from drains and rivers as waste and runoff from cities and industries. Even with what seems like a low percent, oil spills still cause tremendous damage. For example, the Deepwater Horizon oil rig explosion sent millions of gallons of oil into the Gulf of Mexico in 2010. And even now, 7 years later, about 68,000 square miles of the ocean floor remain covered in oil. A single quart of motor oil can contaminate up to 2 million gallons of drinking water. Not only that, but it also affects ocean life as well. Let's now discuss harmful fishing practices. As of right now, the global fishing fleet is 2 to 3 times larger than what the oceans can support. So that basically means we are taking more fish from the ocean than it can replace. Along with overfishing, fishermen are also using destructive fishing practices such as cyanide fishing, dynamite fishing, ghost fishing, and bottom trawling. Cyanide fishing is when fishermen squirt sodium cyanide into the water to stun the fish without killing them, making it easy to catch. Dynamite fishing is when dynamite or other explosives are set off underwater. The dead fish floating to the surface are then simply scooped up. However, the explosives completely destroy the underwater environment. Ghost fishing occurs when fishing gear is lost or abandoned at sea. The gear continues to catch fish, dolphins, whales, turtles, and other sea creatures as it drifts through the water and then becomes snagged on the seabed. Although the current contribution of ghost fishing to bycatch is unknown, it is likely to have a large impact. One survey estimated that a quarter of the rubbish on the bottom of the North Sea is fishing nets, and fishermen often speak of a dolphin and turtle graveyard among these nets. Lastly is bottom trawling. It involves dropping a large net, normally around 60 meters wide, into the sea and dragging it along the bottom with heavy weights from a trawler. These trawls are capable of moving boulders weighing up to 25 tons, so as you can imagine, they could do a lot of damage, which in fact they do. It has already caused irreversible damage to hundreds of coral reefs. Not only have coral reefs been affected, but upwards of 1 million sea turtles have been killed in the process from 1990 to 2008. And there you can see a coral reef before and after trawling occurred. The next topic is acidification. This occurs when the ocean water absorbs carbon dioxide, which causes a chemical reaction to occur that reduces the pH of the water, therefore making it more acidic. It was found that since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, the pH of the ocean has fallen 0.1 units. For reference, a human's blood must remain between 7.35 and 7.45 on the pH scale. So if your pH would drop 0.1, it would actually kill you. And since the pH scale is logarithmic, the 0.1 change is approximately equal to a 30% increase in acidity. The biological impact could potentially affect some calcifying species, including oysters, clams, sea urchins, shallow water corals, deep sea corals, and calcareous plankton. And when these organisms are at risk, the entire ocean food chain might also be at risk as well. Lack of protection is yet another topic contributing to the destruction of our oceans. So as stated before, the ocean takes up 72% of the Earth's surface, yet only 3.4% of it is protected. The leftover 96.6% isn't covered by international law or any legal control. When attempted by countries to create new regulations and rules, there is very commonly difficulty following through with the enforcement. However, most of the world's governments have agreed to protect at least 10% of the world's coastal and marine zones by year 2020. Even though this is a very small increase, it is still progress. However, it is nowhere near what is needed to replenish the ecosystem from the damage we've caused. Personally, I think the best way to ensure the safety of our oceans is to create much stricter laws, and have these laws cover more than just 3.4% of the ocean. Along with that, there should be much harsher punishments for breaking these laws. But like most other things, I'm sure this is much easier said than done. Marine conservationists actually estimate that a minimum of 30% of the oceans need to be under protection where fishing and mining are banned to start to replenish our oceans. Personally, I think this is an achievable number, but here are some simple things that you can do to help the oceans yourself. First, mind your carbon footprint. So by this I mean carpool when you can, switch to compact fluorescent light bulbs, take the stairs, and try to avoid oversetting your thermostat. Next is make safe seafood choices. An easy way to do this is to just choose seafood that is both healthful and sustainable. Next is use less plastic products. So use a reusable water bottle, a cloth tote or reusable shopping bag, and recycle as much as possible. And lastly, is to not purchase items that exploit marine life. So avoid buying coral jewelry, tortoiseshell hair accessories, and shark products. Alright, thank you for listening.